Everyone's out here trying to build a side hustle, but what if the biggest mistake you can make is trying to sell to everyone? The more you chase the whole market, the faster you drown in it. Here's what nobody tells you when you launch an Etsy shop or a dropshipping store. Broad niches are basically a war zone where you're fighting giants with million-dollar ad budgets. Micro niches, though, are like finding a quiet back alley where you're the only vendor and everyone who walks in is already looking for exactly what you sell. Think of it like this. Trying to rank for fitness coach online is like trying to get noticed at Times Square on New Year's Eve. But postnatal Pilates for military spouses, now you just walked into a room where you're the only person speaking that language. The data backs this up in a way that feels almost unfair. Micro niche creators consistently report conversion rates 2 to 5 times higher than broad market competitors. That's not a rounding error. That's the difference between a hobby and a business. And yet, the irony is that most people avoid micro niches because they're terrified the audience is too small to matter. What they don't realize is that a tiny, obsessed audience buys more, complains less, and tells their friends faster than a massive, indifferent one ever will. Let's talk margins, because this is where it gets almost poetic. Broad markets compete on price, which means a race to the bottom that eventually pays you in exposure and stress. Micro niches compete on specificity, which means you can charge a premium just for being the only person who truly gets it. The psychology here is fascinating and a little absurd. Buyers in micro niches don't just buy a product, they buy identity confirmation. When someone finds the one creator who speaks directly to their weird, specific problem, they don't shop around, they subscribe, they tip, and they evangelize. History actually bears this out in wave after wave of entrepreneurial cycles, from specialty magazines in the 1970s to niche subreddits turning into 8-figure businesses in the 2010s. Every time the broad market gets crowded, the money quietly migrates to the edges. Now let's demolish the most common misconception head on. People think micro niches have low ceilings, but loyal and small scales differently than broad and shallow. 1,000 true fans at $50 a month beats 10,000 casual followers who never open your emails. The practical lesson from every creator economy boom and bust is that discoverability rewards specificity because algorithms, whether on Google, YouTube, or TikTok, are essentially matching engines. The more precisely you describe yourself, the easier it is for the system to put you in front of the exact person who needs you. So the discipline move here isn't to go micro because it sounds clever. It's to go micro because it's a fundamentally more defensible business position. You're not just easier to find, you're harder to replace, and that combination is basically the holy grail of sustainable margins. Don't chase virality in a broad niche, hoping to get lucky, build deep authority in a specific lane, and let the compounding do the work. Process beats conviction every single time, especially when the process is simply being the most specific, most useful person in a room nobody else thought to enter. At the end of the day, the side hustle game isn't about who shouts the loudest, it's about who builds the most precise signal in the most receptive frequency. Discipline, consistency, and the courage to go narrow will outperform the spray and pray approach every single time. And if you're ready to take that same focused, strategic thinking and apply it to building real wealth through real estate or home contracting, check out our links in the description below. We can help you get started with investing, contracting work, and finding the right lenders.